Here's the mismatch now. Francisco. Step back. If it goes, he'll win it. Game over! Wonderful! Step back shot over Kaminsky. You can hear the shouts in the arena of Lietuva, Lithuania. Francisco, a long look at a three. Bingo! Francisco! Sylvain Francisco.
Switching defense again. They can foul him. He sidesteps for three, makes it. Sylvain Francisco, what a half. 20 points on 5 of 6 from long range.
Don't foul now, you've made the decision. Now you're gonna try and force a bad shot. Francisco with a chance to step back three, are you kidding me? Got it! Bingo, Francisco! On a step back three from the number 3. Francisco makes it rain. Francisco trying to break down his opposite number, gets in the lane, got it! Sylvain Francisco.
Just as we did back in Milan between these two teams in October. Francisco up and in. Both of their scoring tapering off a bit in the second half, but Francisco, the step back three, got it! And Zalgiris is in front. Francisco off the pick. Francisco finds a gap, the reverse, up and in.
Not going to get it in the hands of Lonnie Walker again. He's scored his first basket of the night. Francisco is confident as well, and he drives through the stutter step, and then the explosion to get him past Fuchtman. And Giffey moves up to 5 points. The lead moves up to 16. Here's Francisco trying to narrow the gap, and does with a good inside score. Now Francisco gets it back, and off the glass, a tough acrobatic finish with the foul from Sylvain Francisco.
Francisco up against Wancho, past him with ease, the scoop, the score with the hammer, the big Barutis blow to the chin of the champions.
Really have been given a bit of a shellacking. 28 points conceded. Francisco looking for it all. Oh my goodness me. For Zalgiris. But can they detonate on this possession? Oh, lovely move. And Smailagic is all on his own. He's got options. He looked off and then deposited with no one anywhere near him. The very experienced 5 on the floor as well for Fenerbahce. But Kavicius and Francisco still working in the back court. Francisco with the tease, with the fade, and beautifully done. Clock ticking here, and Francisco may have to just take this himself again. Nothing else seems to be available. There he goes. Well, why not? Well, why not? Very, very solid. Taking a lot of three-point shots, but
Midway through the second quarter, Sylvain Francisco hounded by Alec Peters. Francisco, in the end, able to scoop the shot up and in.
Francisco splits the double team and finds Mitchell for the layup.
Lead up to 13 as the triple is made by Francisco at the other end, and they needed that.
Two standouts as far as Alba are concerned, and this guy's probably been the pick of the show for Zalgiris. 16 points now for Francisco. Francisco, the step away. Oh, string of music. Sylvain Francisco. This is nice. Sees the mismatch. Just a little step away to give himself a... Oh, he seemed to slow down there. Walker pulling the strings. Shot clock. Francisco falling away. What a make! Sylvain Francisco. Look at this. That is so... Zalgiris with the ball. Francisco goes the opposite way to the screen. Takes it at the second attempt. Slices through the defense to the rim and the finish. Beautiful attack. getting all the way to the rim with the change of pace, change of direction, through the legs, the extension, and still the strength.
Trying to take it back a one-on-one. He's got him to the basket, foul. Can he get the and one? Francisco off the backboard as he shakes and bakes Ibaka. It gets the and one. Listen, it goes up over Baldi, the foul on Ibaka. Zalgiris 9 for 12 from outside the three-point line. Look at the movement. Now it's a setup one-on-one game. Francisco to the hoop, lay it over Njaye. Might have been Lonnie Walker who got his hand in. Let me check out Lonnie Walker's. That's his second foul, I believe.
He's going to dribble this one out. Step back, three. That's a dagger. That's a huge bucket right there. Cisco.
Francisco with one more three. Particularly in that third quarter, that struggled to contain buy-in and their sharpshooters. Francisco on the bounce, bumping bodies, falling over the baseline and still scoring. Sylvain Francisco bursting into the paint, underarm scoop and score. He's got 10 points since half-time. And the personnel on the floor as Bayern have looked to mount this comeback. Francisco, the handles, the conversion.
Zalgiris scrappy play. Now they'll try and restore some order with Francisco stepping back for three. Well, he missed the two free throws, but makes the tough step back three, ties it up. And this was the final of those 7 triples.
Under 2 minutes left. Panathinaikos have only scored 7 points. As Sylvain Francisco does his fourth quarter heroics once more. Look now again, Fenerbahce slowed it down.
Francisco finally converts on his way to the basket, looking for a call, doesn't get it.
Needs to forget trying to get the call.
Francisco manages to get it back again. He's going to go at Melli. Stop, pop, and he
That's
drops
more like
the
his
mid-range
game.
jump shot.
He's not going to get to the rack and finish.
You don't want to foul now if you're Bayern, especially on a three-pointer. Oh, Francisco does it again. First half. He's trying to lead his team to victory here in the fourth quarter. As quickly as possible. San Francisco pulling up. He's going to pull up quick. And he does exactly that. But now, Francisco making up for him. That's a huge play right there. Francisco, Giedraitis, Mitchell, Bukevicius, Ulanovic are on the floor for Kaunas. Step back three. That's the one Francisco's wanted all night. He was 0 for 4 after that one.
And off we go again. Barutis to Francisco. Strazel tracks him. Ulanovic with a nice screen. Francisco to Barutis. Barutis throws it down.
Francisco checking his options, drives, attacks the baseline, gets to the goal and finishes through the foul. He'll go to the free throw line looking to add one more and attacking the mismatch, beating Uroš Plavšić. Missing his first three-point attempt tonight. But remember, Cannon was 0 of 5 from downtown in his 7-point total last time. No such difficulties for Sylvain Francisco. The old-fashioned way from the hot hand of David Astavidis. And then Sylvain Francisco, who provided the helper. So Francisco offloading, and Arnas Bukevicius kissing it off the window.
Dropped off and thrown down. In this second half, Barutis. Francisco, the go-to guy last week. Pulls it back beyond the perimeter. Shoots the shot over the top of Moses. Right, and he's at it again. Sylvain Francisco. Sylvain Francisco over the top of the shot blocker Moses. Is that it remains a 2-possession game with just over 2.5 to play. Francisco into Barutis, into the bucket. And there's Francisco weaving his way through. And his captain emotes from the bench.
It's Sylvain Francisco, Bayern down 13. They are still fighting and staying alive as Francisco cuts the lead down to 11.
It's now a two-score game. FC Bayern Munich needs to score twice, and they've done so once with a maximum from Sylvain Francisco, his third three-pointer of the night. He did a two-score affair, and then Sylvain Francisco had to show his clutch credentials. And on each time he has put the ball in the hole, he has been fouled and added the subsequent free throw. Francisco out to the perimeter, the three ball drilled by Vladimir Lucic.
Francisco against Marinkovic, gets a screen from Ibaka, drives against Costello, tries to find a seam in his defense, and he does. He goes away from him. That's a screen by Radoncic. They go one-on-one isolation against Chima Moneke, and the crazy layup. To Andy Obst, it's Radoncic, who was open at the free throw line, but went to Francisco, to Harris underneath, wide open. Thank you very much. That's an easy layup, averaging 8.1 points per game in the season. Francisco crossing over Rokavopoulos is Harris with the three-pointer. Does it count? I think it does. He just beat the shot clock.
Now they need someone to actually step up and take the shot. Nice pass. Francisco finds Elias Harris. The coach will try and say, okay, you played well in the last couple of minutes, but where were you the first 30? Forget the last play. Focus on the next one. Well, the next one is 2 free throws for use of foul.
That will do it. Francisco will keep on fighting. Booker will throw it down with the foul. The hammer and then the hang on the rim as Booker gets hit from behind by Guduric. 9 points at a push on a tough shooting night for him. Still plenty of time to put it right. Francisco on the blaze to the basket and one. He's up to 11 points in 11 minutes. He spent the first half of this season in Istanbul with Efes. Here goes Francisco. His first involvement back out. Ibaka has hit a three already. How about another?
And now Francisco bringing it back to 10 points, looking to make it even better. Nicely done. Brankovic in. Brankovic slams it. Buffeting. Francisco has been magical.
Lucic releases, gets away from Aturu, and Francisco will take it on himself. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Oh, these threes have just been torturing Efes in this first half. What a finish from Sylvain Francisco.
To Kachenkov. Now it's Francisco with the shot clock in the red. He's going to have to pull the trigger here. Pull up Jay from the top of the key is landed. Tough bucket made.
Back to Francisco, gets a screen inside to Ibaka! Score it! What an exclamation point behind a great second quarter here for Bayern Munich. They went on an 11-0 run, if I'm not mistaken, an absolutely dominant performance with the last 2 points.
Asvel don't even want to let Bayern Munich think about shooting a three-point shot. Francisco gets it away. Oh, of course he answers. Sylvain Francisco. The fans are on their feet. The LDLC Arena has had a first night to remember as Sylvain Francisco.
Who was doubled and had to throw it out. Francisco 5 to shoot. Gonna have to do something with his quickness. A tough shot. Oh my! What a shot by Sylvain Francisco. A lot more to come, I would expect, from Carson Edwards. They're tied at 44 with 2:35 to go. Acrobatic finish down the middle.
Herbst trying to release, and Howard sticking with him. Francisco takes on the jumper from range and drops it right on the buzzer. Real cool under fire there.
Trying to get to the basket, steps back, good D by Jerry Grant. foul is up. Booker gets the basket on the and one. Devin Booker with the whereabouts to know that he was going to be fouled. Special situation for him. Now it's 7. They're going to want to attack. It's Francisco to Lazar. Goes by him. What a move by Sylvain Francisco. What speed. Play right there where they got the mismatch they wanted. And Sylvain Francisco blows by.